About what's going on with. Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm going to try to pin this. I'm okay at this, but give me a break. It's hard for me. Okay. Hi. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to try to pin this comment so you can have access to the raffle we're doing that's ending on Friday with Jewelry Edition. Oh, let's see if we're going to get them in here right now. Yep, I'm going to get Lauren. We're going to talk briefly about, we're doing a brief one right now. There will be more, but this has just been something we came together really quick. Hi, Laura. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Hi, welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everybody for being here. I have pinned the raffle link for right now in the comments. So if you want to participate, let us know. We're just talking a little bit about how this came together, what some of our reactions are, and then we're going to talk to Crafting the Future about their mission statement and get a nice overview.
Yeah.
So Laura, a little bit about what's going on with Jewelry Edition and why this raffle came about and what prompted this.
Well, I think over the past couple of weeks, everybody's been doing a little self-reflection and thinking about all the ways that we haven't been doing a good job in a lot of ways in increasing diversity within our field. And Jewelry Edition is a platform. We cannot ignore that. We're a very small thing, but we've been around now for about 5 years, and we have worked with now 28 other artists who've come together to work with us. And we have relationships with a lot of organizations and places all over the country. And although we've relied pretty heavily on call for entry and occasional invites to people who we see in different places, and that doesn't always follow through, but we can do more, and we realize that. And when you think about looking to other people who are leading the way and being leaders in this sort of thing, I think immediately about people who I know, Annie Evelyn and Corey Pemberton, who started Crafting the Future along with a lot of other people within the Penland community, and now it's grown. And it's something that Corey will have to give you the details exactly, but I feel like it was maybe founded a little over a year, maybe more ago. And they've really done a lot of really great work with this organization to work with other artists to create more opportunities to people to come into the craft school experience and just get those opportunities that don't necessarily fall in your lap. I mean, you do kind of have to go through certain channels to even know what a place like Penland is.
And that it even exists, and there's opportunities available even. There's not a lot of exposure. That's part of the problem.
And if you're only surrounded by and only in conversation with whatever bubble you're in, and you never work to think about how to share what you do, then it becomes a vacuum, and that is not what we want. And so I consider what Crafting the Future is doing to be a really good example of people who've taken the initiative, who've used their own resources and people who they're in connection with to create a really worthwhile organization that has long-term effects moving forward. And Jewelry Edition has been having this conversation with you and other people who have always been helpful to us in developing and growing, and that would be a lot of the artists who you see in the raffle this week, Tara Locklear and Tanya Crane, and I'm forgetting everybody who's in the raffle right now. So many people joined. Ashley, I mean, these are people who we talk with all the time and who are invested in making some of these long-term action-based things. And so immediately we thought, let's host this raffle. Let's raise some funds. Let's give it to some people who already have so many good things in the work, and they know where to put it. They know where it's going to go, and maybe work on some partnerships moving forward. And so, yeah, that's what the raffle is this week. Specifically, everything in the raffle, all the funds raised, which right now we're at about $1,300. So this is exciting.
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
And to put that into perspective, because we also did a little research, you know, it cost about, to send one person to craft school,
Yeah.
One person, it cost around about $3,000. And I don't know if that's taking into account everything, but like that's on your way to a full-on scholarship, right? To a place like Penland.
Yes.
So if we can get more money in this raffle, we could potentially have enough to, you know, well, they'll put the money wherever they need it, but then we'll know that like that's possible for a group of people to do. And so also I want to make a point too that when Jewelry Edition does go to make this donation to Crafting the Future, we will list all of the names of everybody who gave money to this. So we really appreciate people putting that money in, because I know that right now is not an easy time to necessarily be letting go. But
people also, I know as artists, we're not necessarily the wealthiest. So what we're able to do is donate our items for raffle, and this is a way to generate funds. So I have had a lot of conversations with other artists as well. So we're gonna we've taken this initial initiative, and I did one last week as well, which was awesome.
Which was huge. Huge.
So mind-blowingly awesome to like, this is like stuff I've been doing on the DL for a long time and not really talking about, and now I'm like, oh, this is the right time to
it inspires other people to do it too. Yeah, absolutely.
And it's so inspiring, and then coming together, and more of us coming together, and more people being interested and highlighting the good work of what Crafting the Future is doing is going to be, there's more awareness. And I think that people weren't aware that diversity was such an issue, which we've known this is why, I mean, New York City Jewelry Week has Here We Are. This is why you're seeing more of this in the last couple of years, because we've been talking about it for a couple of years, but it's finally happening, where we're fostering new relationships with new customers, new artists, designers, and all coming together, and I want to see more of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's
so
important.
We want to say, people do want to reach out. You can reach I know you put a link on there on the Jewelry Edition page talking about how other artists wanting potentially to get involved. We have not formalized anything. We're seeing how these next two go, but like keeping the momentum going and keeping these conversations going is going to be part of that.
Yeah, I would encourage anybody. I mean, obviously, you'll want to reach out to Crafting the Future and let them know that you're interested in helping them. I mean, that could be anything like phone calls, graphic design. I don't know, anything. I mean, we do have skills as artists that we can contribute, but also with Jewelry Edition and with you and with this network of people that we're working with, I think it's important to have communication. And if you're curious or have questions about anything, or if something's mentioned today and you want to know how to get into the circle of that, you're welcome to email Jewelry Edition or DM us in the Instagram app, and we can do our best to facilitate that.
Yeah.
So who you're going to be talking with today is Corey Pemberton, who is a man. I really want to just do an Instagram live with him, because his work is incredible. What's that?
We're just doing this little snippet now, but I'm inviting Crafting the Future to come on anytime and discuss with me and highlight. You know?
Yeah. Well, and Corey, I knew him when I first met him many years ago at Penland. He was doing mainly glass, and he was working for a couple local glassmakers here, and then he ended up doing the core program, which is a 2-year kind of fellowship program within Penland, where they work for the school in exchange for classes for 2 years. And he just blossomed in all of these different media. He's doing all these paintings, these really interesting
installation
paintings. I think he's dabbled in some installation, and also I want to say he did some jars. He did some collaborations and had these lidded jars that were really cool. So he's one part of the people who keep the day-to-day operations going with Crafting the Future, as well as Annie Evelyn, who is also a Penland affiliate. She was a former resident artist here and is still sort of in the area. She has, I think the people who came to Penland, some of the first students to come through Crafting the Future, she has some connections with in New Orleans, where I believe she's also lived part of the time with an organization called Yaya, which I'm sure they'll be able to tell you a lot more about. This is just me, like my research. Hi, Sarita. Sarita, who's in with us, is the textiles coordinator at Penland. So there's probably a lot of Penland people on tonight listening.
We're at the 10-minute mark. I'm gonna add.
Okay.
I'm gonna add Corey in, and we're gonna learn a little bit more. And Laura, thank you so much. Also, thank you so much for teaching me about this organization, because I would not have known about it without you having this Penland connection. I really appreciate it.
Cool. Well, enjoy it. Thank you.
Thanks, Laura. Okay, Crafting the Future coming in. If I could, give me a second though. You know. Okay, I'm gonna do it. Okay, I see you. Perfect. Yes, it's like magic. Yay. Hello.
Hello.
How are you? I'm Megan.
Hi, Megan. I'm Corey. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
How you doing?
Thank you so much for taking time to be here today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. I'm excited to talk with you guys and tell you a little bit about what we're doing, and hopefully talk about some partnership down the road. That might be.
I'm really excited because I've been working with more New York stuff here, but this is great. I'm really excited about participating, helping, and supporting what you're doing. So tell us a little bit about when you started, why you started, and then I have more questions.
Sure. So Crafting the Future is something that Annie Evelyn and myself sort of dreamt up years ago. Well, I won't bore you with the background story of that night, but it's something we've had in the works for many years, and it's been about a year and a half now that it's been like an actual thing, and it is now starting to gain some real legs. So it's really exciting, and what we are is essentially a collective of artists and craftspeople and our supporters who are all concerned with the lack of ethnic and racial diversity in our field, not just art and craft, but design as well. And what we're doing is banding together so that we can, institute some change in our own community, because no one else is going to do it. And that's something that I want to sort of drive home here, is that it is about community building and about us coming together to make the change that we're now seeing needs to be addressed. And
always been there, but now it's the time actually to capitalize on this.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, we're riding a real wave right now, because there's all of this stuff going on in the news, and what we're doing might seem like a small way to institute some change, but it's really not. It's huge, and at its core is really applicable to all of the things that are going on in the news right now. And so again, we're gaining some real momentum, and it's really, really inspiring, because we want to be able to say that the stories that we're telling through our work are representative of the demographics in our country and globally. And that's something that if we can all look at ourselves and admit has not been true up to this point. And so we want to offer people an outlet to make a sustained effort to address this issue. And it's really part, again, of a much bigger thing. And so some ways that we're doing that are by trying to bring awareness of opportunities in our world to underserved communities, and then to address issues of accessibility with those opportunities. And so you can jump in at any time.
I was going to say, in terms of accessibility, what do you mean exactly? Is that going to be funding, or that's also just making sure people are aware that
it's both. It's both, for sure. So right now we're partnered with an organization called Yaya, which Laura was talking a little bit about just a second ago. They're a youth arts organization in New Orleans, and they've already been doing a lot of this work. And so that's a big part of what we're doing, is serving sort of as a bridge between those sorts of organizations and these craft schools that we all know can be so transformative. And so last year we raised enough money to send 2 kids from Yaya to Penland.
Mm-hmm.
And that was amazing, and they had an amazing experience. And you can go to our website, craftingthefuture.org, to read a little bit more about those kids. But already this year it's growing so much. So we raised enough money to send 4 kids this summer, which unfortunately we're not able to do because of COVID. But I'll tell you in a little bit what we're going to do this summer instead. But we also received a big grant from the Horn Foundation, and just this week alone have raised over $30,000 for scholarships. And so we're expanding rapidly. So just this week we've gotten commitments from Haystack in Maine, from Pilcher Glass School in Washington, from the Pittsburgh Glass Center in Pennsylvania, who all want to match our scholarships. So I'm getting
crazy. People are coming out of the woodwork. I'm so excited to see this happening for you. And
it's amazing. And Annie and I have been talking about this, how like we sort of expected to have this sort of reaction when we created the thing. And it's a shame that like what is going on had to happen for people to sort of wake up. But in a way, I'm sort of viewing it as a silver lining to an extremely large, dark cloud. And so I'll take it. You know, we've got the money that we've raised. We've got all of these scholarships who people are offering up. And we're now looking at other avenues that we can expand into. So we're going to explore doing internships with artists. And so this is a part where like the community vibe comes in. So like we're asking all of our members, you know, as a part of crafting the future, like, you have people in your network that you know might want to host an intern, or who have students that they think would really benefit from one of these scholarships. Like, please reach out, like slide in my DMs. Like that's what this is.
Definitely spread the word, because I know a bunch here. I run internship programs before all this. And I primarily pulled from like the Here We Are or the Pratt student base, and it's been awesome and really informative for me and taught me a lot learning from these young people. I'm happy to spread the word.
Please
connect you with the educators you need to talk to.
Please, that's the sort of thing that we're trying to do right now, is build that network, and also find other organizations like Yaya to partner with. Because, you know, moving forward, if we can sustain this sort of support and interest in what we're doing, then like sky is the limit. And I know that there's plenty of organizations out there who are already doing this work, and we need to know about them. So again,
it's only the 2 of you. You don't have a big board. You don't have a big fundraising team. It has to come from us, kind of the community, to do part of this work.
That's right. And so people have been asking me, like if you go to our website, there's 2 pages. There's one for membership and there's one for donation. So like, what is the difference and what is a membership? And I'm just going to be really frank with you. Our membership, it doesn't mean that you're going to get a sweatshirt or a sticker or whatever. Like what you're getting is a chance to be a part of this. Like what we're doing is fucking awesome, and we need each other's support. And when you sign up to be a member, we're going to ask you a few questions about like what your level of involvement wants to be, and what sort of information about you we can share. And you're also going to join our mailing list, and you're going to hear all about like the things that we're up to, and you're just going to make a commitment to like helping to sustain this movement. And
this is, you want to grow bigger, like, because you started a year, Laura said 18 months, 12 months.
That's about right.
Okay.
About 18.
This is interesting, because I've been working with New York City Jewelry Week, and I'm always supportive of their efforts, which is just local, and they've started something similar within the same time period. Do you think there's something in the air? Why now? I mean, before Black Lives Matter, but is it generational also?
Honestly, I like I was saying before, Annie and I have been on this tip for years, and it's just like right now people are starting to wake up a little bit. And so I think it's there's been kind of a renaissance in a way, or like a grand awakening of the social consciousness. And I mean, I think that's a big part of what it is. And this is a time to, I don't want to use the word capitalize on that, because I mean, that sounds icky. That's not what.
But it's also to I think, take the reins and be the leader.
Exactly, and to offer a platform for people, because you know it's one thing to post a black square on your Instagram, or to do a hashtag Black Lives Matter, or to even have a conversation with your friends, but like, what are we actually going to do? Mm-hmm. And like, what are we going to do with our direct community? And this is just, again, it might seem small, but it's not fucking small. It's like, this is big.
It's huge. This is like this is the tipping point. It's just now
right.
now more people are finally aware. Mm-hmm. It's marketing and getting the message out. I think that's partly what this is finally pushed everybody to actually be able to verbalize and recognize.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's not just bringing more people of color into the fold, but also like recognizing, supporting, and celebrating the ones that are already out here doing stuff. And so, yeah, if you are one of those people of color who are doing the work, or know somebody who should be involved, again, like come to me, join the fold.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of artists have been like, we've been here the whole time.
Absolutely.
You're just noticing now.
Yep.
I think you should take note of why that is, and that's part of the problem.
Sorry, you cut out for a second there.
I think they have to take note of why that is that they weren't recognized. Like, us realizing that is part of, we're not getting the message.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like. Okay, so the next steps for the future, it sounds like more fundraising. You're asking for people to, what's some of the next things that we can do as part of your community?
So again, we are trying to grow our membership base. So just getting the word out about what we're doing and getting people involved. You can go to craftingthefuture.org and become a member. And that doesn't even necessarily mean making a donation, but if you want to, that's great. And you guys were speaking to this a little bit earlier about, you know, as craftspeople and artists, like, we're not rich. We don't have lots of money, but I can show you the receipts. It doesn't take much. Like, just in this week alone, from $25 and $50 donations, we have raised $30,000.
It's huge. It's mind blowing, and I'm like, this had better not be the end. This has
just the beginning.
And like, this is something we need. It needs to infuse everything we're doing.
Exactly.
How we hire, how we talk to our customers, how we get new customers. It's the artists need to be representative. Our customers need to be representative as well, and how we're talking to different people.
Right. And this can't be a fad. It has to. That's another thing. We have to sustain this type of thinking and spread it. You know, it's like, have these conversations often and throughout time, and with people who they're hard to have them with. You know, that's sort of how we're gonna change the fabric of our community.
So the education you're doing, getting people young, it seems like do you focus primarily on emerging artists, youth? Is there like a focus that way? Because I think having the education early and getting exposure early creates a whole nother generation, a generational shift.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And so we have been primarily focusing on young artists, but again, another facet of what we want to do is bring just like a little bit of exposure and awareness to people who are already doing it. And so we are also working with, Yaya, for instance, has a group of alumni who have gone through their program years ago, who we're going to do some work with them as well, because they're able to, you know, but yeah, I mean, it's about the future forward, and as we all know, corny as it sounds, the children are our future.
It's cute. Well, I come from a family of educators, so my sister's currently doing her master's degree in education with the focus on social justice, because I'm from California, and and that's where she is. And
Mhm.
having to be able to talk to teaching to a classroom of people that are all different, and
Mhm.
making sure everyone feels included is a
Yeah,
huge talent. And I think that's what part of what you're doing.
absolutely. Yeah. And I just want to take a second to talk about what we're going to be doing this summer since we can't be sending people to
Yeah. Oh,
Penland.
yeah, please. Yeah.
Yeah. So in the immediate future, we're planning some virtual programming through Yaya. So we've got already 4 classes sort of in the works that are going to be like Zoom type classes where we're going to put together kits and mail them out to the students. And in some cases, they'll actually be able to gather at their studio in New Orleans in smaller groups. And we're going to do some classes that way. And we're also, again, working on the internship program. So Yaya has a few local artists that they know would benefit from a student intern. And so we're going to fund some of those experiences as well, where we don't know what the dollar amount is yet, but we'll be able to offer up a certain stipend where like the student is actually getting paid by us, and the intern, or
Mhm.
sorry, the artist will benefit mutually from that
And this
experience.
is huge. I have to say, I have to make a point as an artist. It's really a luxury to be able to do art. If you're not, a lot of these internships are free typically, so you're a lot of disadvantaged or people with different socioeconomic means are not able to access these and are not able to have these professional experiences. So the funding is a barrier.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's just a couple of different things that we've got in the works right now, and it's all very exciting, and we're just honestly overwhelmed by the support we're getting right now, and just hope that the momentum continues. And we're so excited to get to know you all and partner with Jewelry Edition and help, you know, tell the story like it really is.
Yeah, I am so excited to find you, and I'm sorry it took this way as well. But I appreciate you coming on and educating me and the community at large. I look forward to more conversations in the future and more fundraising. So, and to see what
Likewise.
you like do this summer, and this is like a really interesting time to be able to still educate virtually.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And honestly, it's like a challenge, but also is, I think, in many ways helping us to like develop new ways of thinking about education,
That's a good.
and how we can, work from home.
Advertises it in a way too, because you don't have to physically be there.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's
Hmm.
something I really like that. Well, Corey, thank you so much. Thank you to everybody for being here. Um, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, everybody. And again, please feel free to DM me with any questions that you have. Annie and I both are checking the Crafting the Future inbox often.
Cool.
And my handle is at Instant Glassic if anybody wants to contact me through there too. So,
In there right now, Instant Classic. I went and checked. I like stalked you before, so
likewise.
yeah, like, super casual, like I
Yeah,
do.
well,
It's all
these
good.
days.
I tagged in there. As artists, I think the best thing you can do if you don't have any money, you can't donate anything, just become a member, so you're aware, and that
That's right.
and follow you guys on Instagram too.
That's right. Thank
That's
you. Yeah,
yeah.
please. Well, thank you so much. This has been really
Thanks.
fun.
Thank you so much. I wish you well. You're in California, right?
Yep, I'm here in
I'm,
LA, sweating under my titties right now.
oh
It's hot.
no, I'm from Orange County. I got you.
Woo!
Oh, don't worry. New York is no better. I wish you.
Ah!
Got you.
Exactly. Well,
Well,
thanks again, Megan. We'll talk soon.
sounds great. Anytime. Thank you guys, everybody. Thank you. Have a great one, and happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Cheers.